Hello, I'm Kristin and welcome to my channel on healing my body and mind through nutrition and exercise. Welcome back if you've been following along. Welcome if you are new. Please make sure to hit that subscribe button, like, and follow along. Comment. I love to hear where you are on your journey. Why did you start carnivore, or are you here trying to learn about carnivore? Today, I want to dive into the whole digestive system. This is my journey and mine alone. I'm not giving you any scientific data or anything like that. I'm not a doctor or a nutritionist or anything in that aspect, but this is my journey. So I have suffered from microscopic colitis since my early 20s. Out of nowhere, I just constantly, this is going to be TMI, but we're going to talk poo here. I had constant diarrhea and I never had that issue. I never had issue going to the bathroom. I was never constipated. I never had really diarrhea unless there was an issue, right? And it was so constant that I knew that something was going on with my stomach. I knew that something wasn't right. So I went to the doctor and I told him that I needed to see a specialist, and I went to the specialist and I had a colonoscopy and an endoscopy done. And they found out that I had microscopic colitis. And so let me go here real quick. I kind of want to give you an idea of what microscopic colitis is, just in case you yourself don't have microscopic colitis or anything like that and you're not quite sure what it is. It's not like IBS, it's very different. So microscopic colitis is a type of inflammation in the colon that can only be seen under a microscope, hence the word microscopic colitis. So it causes chronic watery diarrhea, but the colon often appears normal during routine exams. So when they first looked at it, they told me it looked good until they looked at it through the microscope and told me that I had microscopic colitis. The exact cause is unclear. They don't know why. They don't know what you can do. There's no cure. Like, this is everything that I was told back then. And now I'm asking ChatGPT and it's still telling me that it's unclear. So pretty much nothing has changed. It's linked to immune system issues, which makes sense because I've always had low immune system. Also never really diagnosed as to why. Medications and infections. I was not on medications and I didn't have infections. So it's probably more than likely maybe due to my immune, I don't know. And treatment typically involves dietary changes and medication. Now, when I asked about my dietary change and if there's anything I can do nutritionally, they told me that the only thing that I could possibly do is figure out what was triggering my symptoms, and more than likely it was going to be fried foods. I already did not eat that many fried foods even back then. And so it was kind of the obvious, right? Like anything really greasy or anything fried is more than likely going to cause issues in your gut. Well, that was the end of the nutrition talk. Medication was definitely a talk, and they wanted to put me on a medication that had a steroid. Back then, in my early 20s, I knew better than to get on a medication with steroids. And I told the doc, I said, Doc, I said, if I get on a medication now with steroids, when I'm in my 40s, it probably is not going to work. And then what am I going to do? What am I going to take? Like, it's just, can I just take Imodium? So he said, yes. If Imodium works for you, go ahead and take Imodium. Even then, I didn't really like to take any type of over-the-counter medication if I can avoid it. So I kept Imodium on hand in the beginning, especially because I would have outbursts in the restaurant. No joke. I went to Crackle Barrel. I don't know if you have that where you're at, but we went there to eat with my husband, boyfriend at the time's family. And before we left, I had to run to the bathroom because the stomach ache that I had was horrendous. Diarrhea, I hate going to the bathroom in public bathrooms. So not only embarrassing for myself, but they're usually not very clean and I just don't like it. But I had no other choice. Now, I didn't even have Imodium on me. And I told my husband, then boyfriend, I said, we need to stop at Walgreens or a CVS because I need to get Imodium. Like, this is not going away and it's really hurting. And I remember, I think we were going to go drive town towards Key Largo, or I think that's what we were doing. This was a long time ago. And so I had to get the Imodium. Now, as the years went by, I kind of learned what I can eat and what I couldn't. And sometimes I would still have these triggers and it would just happen. And I avoided taking Imodium for a lot of years. I would just pretty much drink a lot of water, take deep breaths, and just get past it, okay? But it wasn't fun, and it isn't fun, and it was very painful. And so fast forward now, carnivore we're going on 8 months, which is absolutely amazing. And I have to say that in the beginning, it did not make a lot of changes. I still had days where I had that watery stool, and it was usually around the time of my period. I've talked about it on my channel before. Like, is the period and your hormones changing and all that connected to your gut and can change, having those issues triggering my microscopic colitis? And for me, I believe that it does. Now, with that said, going 8 months now in, I have to say that it's gotten a lot better. There are still some days that I have like that watery bowel movement that day, with a little bit of a stomach ache, but way less than what I was having from before I started carnivore to even during the carnivore journey up until maybe a month or two ago, when I kind of was talking to my husband about it. He's like, yeah, babe, TMI, because we just don't really talk about those things. But obviously, he knows my issue. And I said, I know this is a TMI, but my bowel movements have been like normal, pretty normal. And that to me is not normal, and was a big wow moment, and amazing that it has gotten better over time. Now, again, I've only been 8 months in. I think that it takes a long time. We want these quick fixes. We want things to happen overnight. And I know that you're probably thinking the same. Like, if you've tried to lose weight and week 2, you're not losing any pounds, you're like, this isn't working, and you give up. Well, stick to the carnivore diet, because think about it. How many years have you been eating badly? How many years have you been fueling your body with things that are probably harming your body, even when you thought that you were eating healthy? Now, take all that time, and how can you expect to get better overnight? How can you expect to lose the weight overnight? There are some cases where, you got to see what works for you. I have seen a lot of people saying, especially with weight loss, that they've been on this for a good amount of time and they haven't lost anything. Then there's probably something there that is going on with your body. And so you have to check that out. But as far as the digestive system, I have like changed over the last 8 months. And I know that I still have a lot of healing to do. I still have a lot of figuring things out. And so that is one of the reasons that I am going to do the Lion Diet come October 1st. We're doing a 30-day Lion Diet challenge with Dr. Fernando Morales. He is a doctor out of Mexico, and I am really excited about this challenge. Also a little scared, because I love my eggs and my bacon and my coffee, and that is something that is going to be really, really hard to give up. My husband thinks I'm a little going to the extreme doing the Lion Diet, but he doesn't have the health issues that I have. And so I think that if you have health issues, the Lion Diet is the best elimination diet that you can do. I don't see it as a long-term, honestly, unless you are like Michaela Peterson, who has a lot of issues since she was young and finds that this is the only way of eating that works for her. And that's why I always say that every body is different and there's no linear line in a type of diet, because we are all different. What works for my body may not work for you. You may not have microscopic colitis, so you might be able to eat the rendered fat in ground beef. Whereas I know if I eat the rendered fat in ground beef, I'm going to go be running to the bathroom in a lot of pain. So we just got to see what works for us, right? And that is part of this beautiful journey, just figuring it all out, seeing what works for you, what works for me. No judgment if you want to add coffee to your diet. I see a lot of carnivores out there being like, well, did coffee come from animals? No, bro, it didn't fucking come from animals. Sorry, my language. Obviously, right? But there are known carnivores that still drink coffee. I mean, if you look at Steak and Butter Gal, she drinks coffee. I just saw a video of her posting it the other day. I'm like, yes, thank you. And I saw somebody else the other day that just popped up in my feed saying, I don't care what you think, but I drink coffee on the carnivore diet. And that is me. Now, go on 30 days, no caffeine, no coffee, and wish me some luck. But you got to do what works for you, what makes you feel good, what is sustainable for you, right? Because I don't look at the carnivore diet as a diet per se. I'm not trying to lose weight. I am trying to get the healthiest that I can be and live a happy life. It has helped me with my depression and my anxiety and my inflammation and all these things. And I want to continue that journey into getting better. I want to be here. Whereas I was down here, you can't even see it. That's how bad it was. And now I feel like I'm around here. I still get a little bit of anxiety. Today, I felt a little bit anxious. I was also trying to just wrap my head around one of my businesses. I'm a social media manager as well, and I have my own business, and I'm trying to see where I want to take it. And so I kind of had that in my head. And I think a lot of that has to do with my anxiety, and it's something that I work on every day. And so with that said, though, my anxiety used to be every single day, all day long, and it's not like that anymore. So I definitely see the improvement over time on the carnivore diet. And again, it doesn't happen overnight, right? So I'm continuing on this journey. We're going to do the lion diet journey. If you're interested in that, shoot me a comment, or you can head over to my Instagram and privately DM me. Or if you're over on Nostr, you can privately DM me. All that information is down in the description below. I will also try to remember to tag Dr. Fernando Morales. His YouTube channel is in Spanish, but he does talk English. And if you are over on Fountain, he does put his podcast over there. I believe he has one over there in English. I might be mistaken on exactly where he has that one, but I'm pretty sure it is. So any questions, please leave them in the comments below. Again, this has been my journey with my microscopic colitis, which has been a journey. I'm telling you, it was my early 20s and I am in my 40s. So right now, that medication would probably not work on me. But I'm glad that I didn't take that medication. I'm glad that I kind of was cautious and self-aware of what triggered my colitis. And even though I still had episodes here and there, it has gotten so much better now being on carnivore. And I truly believe that eventually I will be healed with my gut and my issue, and only time will tell. So stay tuned, keep watching, subscribe, share this channel. I want to grow this channel. I want to become the person that you feel comfortable with to talk to, and know that I understand you. I know that your journey is yours alone, and I hope that you find value in my channel, and I will see you again tomorrow.